Hi, everyone. So this week, Nicole, Sabrina, and I are going to talk to you all about building language development into lessons and assessments, Chapter 9 in Wires. First, we'd like to ask everybody to just stop and think for a minute. When you hear the word assessment, what's the first thing that comes to your head? Can you think of a time when you were in grade school and your teacher used an effective assessment on you? What about an assessment that was not helpful? So at this point, you can pause the video and reflect in your journal or on paper, on notes, whatever. Take 30 seconds, take a minute or so, and then come back and join us for the rest of the slides. So what are assessments? Assessments support content learning and allow us to see the student's thinking and language abilities. Assessments provide an effective way to teach language, not just test it. So to go over a couple of the different assessments that you'll see day to day, Nicole's going to start with the first few.
All right, so the article first starts off by talking about summative assessments, which is putting it all together in a final performance, product, or test to show learning. The students are tested on content, thinking, skills, and language. Next, we have diagnostic assessments, which is a pre-assessment stage in which we find out what students currently know and can do with language. These can be in the form of non-graded tests or quizzes, a group discussion, or even games such as Kahoot. And then we have formative assessments. These types of assessments are ongoing and they include the looking, listening, and commenting that we do during class. They help us as teachers help students to sculpt their own learning. These can be in the form of academic feedback, diagnostic observations, recording language of thinking, or minute by minute assessment of learning.
All right, next we have performance assessments. So these become part of a student's evidence of learning portfolio, a way to keep track of content, language, and thinking growth in a variety of ways over time. So some examples of this include oral presentations, essays, role play, and posters. And this is more of a creative approach to sort of testing your students' knowledge through expression of themselves, especially with role play and oral presentations. And then, of course, there's the typical essay and making a poster. Next are individualized assessments. So this is when we closely analyze student work to see their thinking and language abilities to make sure they are on the right track. So here we have journals, read alouds, and academic oral proficiency interviews. So with journals, teachers sometimes collect them back and see that their students are actually doing work and making sure that they're staying on track. Same with read alouds, testing proficiency. And I've never myself seen an academic oral proficiency interview, but sounds a little scary. But if they do them now, interesting. I don't know what they are exactly. So now we want you to test your knowledge and match the examples to the different types of assessments. So we made you this cool Quizlet, and you're gonna match the different assessments with some examples and see what you know. And we want to hear feedback on this. Let us know if you like it. Let us know your score, how fast you get it done. Have some fun with it.
Okay, and now to close, we are asking for you to all apply what you know. So what assessment type do you feel would be best for your future practices? Think about how your cooperating teachers have used the different types of assessments over these last few months when we've been in the class, whether virtual or in person. So personally, 2 weeks ago, I had to grade about 80 different pre-assessment tests for my 8th grade science class. And these were harder questions than normal because the kids were coming in, they didn't have any background in a lot of these topics, but they were helpful for the teacher because it shows what the students already know coming into the grade, so the teacher can see, okay, I can focus on topic A a little less because the students show some background in it already, whereas topic B, they have no idea. So I know I need to focus a little bit tighter in there and go over it more, maybe spend 2 or 3 classes extra instead of just 1 or 2. And that was my basically experience on that.
So for me, I'm in an 8th grade social studies class, and my cooperating teacher used a lot of summative assessments, especially during these times of COVID. He's not able to do other types that he wishes he could. So what he does is he has the students just take the tests online using Canvas. But the great thing is that the students are allowed to actually have their study guides open and use the study guides during the test because he wants to see his students succeed. But yeah, that's mainly what my cooperating teacher uses.
And then in my class, I'm in a 6th grade science class, and it's interesting because I've never actually seen, since we're only there on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I've never actually seen her like teach any like content, new content. All that I've ever seen that all I've ever seen them do are diagnostic assessments, and by that I mean games. Literally every single day that I'm there, we play games all 4 periods, which is fun for me and for them. They love it. They love her. They think she's like the best thing since sliced bread. But I think it's interesting. But they're learning. They make up their own questions sometimes and submit them. I've learned so many cool new like gaming websites for education, which I will be using in the future, which is good. I just think it's interesting that she does a whole lot of pre-assessment, and she also said that the kids have not taken a test or a quiz in like 4 months, which is kind of concerning, but everybody's different. So that's my experience.
And that's all we got for you guys. So thank you for putting up with a weird virtual lesson plan. And any questions, feel free, you know where to reach us. But thanks, everyone.
Thanks.